What up? This is the first episode of Building in Public. I don't really know what I'm going to post. I just know that I want to bring you on the journey of completing my app. I'm going to take your attention to the screen here, and I'm actually just going to give you the framework of how to build an app using AI. Instead of showing you my app today and how I built it and do all this stuff, I just want to show you how you can build an app as well. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was recognize a problem. Whatever you love, maybe you like soccer, maybe you like fishing, maybe you like finance, maybe you like accounting. I don't know what you like, okay? In the thing that you love, you are going to encounter problems. And when you encounter problems, that is your in. I'm sure you've already seen a ton of companies solving that specific problem, but that doesn't mean that you can't switch it up and figure out something new to make regarding the problems that you encounter. For me, when I built SocialLink, which is the app that we're going to be discussing in these videos, I hated posting to each platform. I only posted to TikTok, and I would occasionally post to YouTube. I got 35,000 followers on TikTok with over 500,000 likes. Total of 20 something million views. I never posted on any of the other platforms. Do you realize if I would have posted on the other platforms, I might have had hundreds of millions of views and maybe 100,000 total followers? That would have been insane, but instead I didn't because I hated posting to each platform. That's why I made SocialLink. It allows you to post to every single platform in one place. You simply connect your account, upload a video, you post the video to every platform. It's amazing. I love it, and it's helped me just spam content out. Not like spamming us in the bad sense, but you know what I mean. And continuing, find a solution to the problem. I just explained that to you. Check competition, right? For me, there was only really like 4 or 5 big names, and they were all doing different things. They were targeting businesses, they were targeting content creators, are targeting brands. I wanted to specifically target content creators because I once was one. I understand the pain, and then eventually I can transition into targeting businesses. What each competitor was doing is they kept building off of the fact, and that's admirable, yes, but I wanted my app to be as simple as possible. If you're building a productivity app, if you're building a software to help you stay as efficient as possible, you should have as little things as possible on your app, okay? And that, if you remember me earlier talking about how you should add your little thing to it, right? You should try to make it different compared to the competitors. That's what I did. I wanted to make a completely different app where it doesn't have all these fancy analytical graphs, doesn't have the comment section. It does what it's supposed to do, and that's how I'm going to market it. Next thing you're going to do is you are going to check your domain and branding. You do not want to come up with a name and start building an app around a name and then later to realize that the name .com or .io has been taken, because that looks really bad for you and you're gonna have to pivot to a different name and it's gonna suck. So once you figure that out, congratulations, you've come up with your idea for an app. It's not hard. It's really not hard. You got this. I believe in you. And the first thing that you should be doing after you come up with the idea is building a wireframe and a page structure. This literally just means come up with how users will go between the pages and what they will see on those pages. You don't have to make them all at once, but what I do is I will literally sit there, right? I'm laying down on my chair. I go to Google Docs and I click the text-to-speech feature, and I literally just yap. I yap about what I think the app and the page will look like. And so it starts off with the landing page, and then the sign in, and then the dashboard, and then on the dashboard header you have the settings, you have the profile, you have the different tabs that they can click on, okay? And then in those tabs you talk about each one. So you talk about each page and how the flow is supposed to go. So you almost make a flow diagram, but you make it a wireframe. And then you take that just jumbled up mess of words and you push it into ChatGPT. And what that'll do is it will organize your words, it'll see what you're talking about, and it will make you a perfect wireframe structure to deliver to an AI, okay? The next thing that you have to do, this is the most important part, use an AI to come up with a mock-up of one page. Whether that be your landing page, whether that be your dashboard, it does not matter. The mockup is super important because that is the CSS design of the entire app. And what I mean by this is your color, the box style, and the styles like glassmorphism, modern. Do your due diligence. Figure out what you want your app to look like before you start designing it. Because if you can get the wireframe and the CSS design done and deliver that to an AI, you're gonna do like no work. It's gonna be so easy. Now, once you did those two things, you move on to work with an AI to word out how the system will work within the wireframe. This is your logic, okay? So you now have your wireframe, your page structure, and your branding design. Now you really need to understand this. You need to write down, use text to speech again, write down how your app is going to work. Speak into the mic and just yap. Like what I did is I was like, I want users to be able to connect to all of their social media accounts, and it connects to the app social link in one place, and that will allow them to upload content and post it to each platform in one place. And that will be done on the dashboard. I got that down and I delivered it to ChatGPT. I said, is this even possible? You should probably do that before, just to make sure that your app's even feasible. But it most likely is. If you're coming up with the idea, you can figure out a way, the AI can figure out a way. This is the most important part, because if this is not clear, your app will fail. Like this right here, if I can make sure you understand something right now, if you do not get this part right, the rest of the app will fail. Okay? Now what you're gonna do is you are going to download Cursor. So this is Cursor. We are going to open a project, and you'll see that you have your files on the left. This is where all your code is gonna be, your root folder. Go to Terminal, and this is where you need to follow the steps to install Ubuntu. This is the most important part. So you pull up WSL, which is Ubuntu, okay? And you type in Claude. Now, you might not have it installed, but I have it installed personally. And so what Claude does is, it is the most powerful AI. Like if you type in Claude Code on Ubuntu, on Cursor, it's so good. So if you deliver all of your things in here, like if you add your document and you add the stuff from your Google Docs right into the root folder right here, just add it to a new file. I kid you not, if you ask Claude to execute and follow the given materials that you presented it in testing in the root folder, it will literally make you an app like that. It is insane. Now, if you've never made an app before and you don't know what npm run dev is, you're probably going to be using this over here on the left. Let me move this real quick. Over here on the left, or on the right, sorry. Right here is where you are going to ask as many questions as possible. Hey, I can't figure out why I can't see this. Hey, I can't figure out why this isn't working. Claude's going to install stuff for you. That's fine. But this is where you're going to ask questions if things aren't working correctly. You're going to tell it what it did, and it's going to figure it out, and it's going to give you commands to run in your PowerShell or your command prompt. So this is a lot of information, right? I am probably frying your brain right now. But I want to make sure that I am giving you as much information as possible. You could probably even put the transcript of this video into an AI, and it will make it easily digestible for you to figure out how to make apps. It's very easy once you get the hang of it, and I'm not joking. I kid you not. If you can get past from this hurdle to the very first one of coming up with the idea, it's going to be the easiest thing you'll ever do in your entire life. Now, this is going to be the most technically challenging part. From here over, this is the most like, I don't understand what I'm doing. That one's going to take you a little bit of time, but the people who actually want to learn will understand it very quickly. It's very easy, especially if you have AI. This one right here is by far the most technically challenging. Okay. And so what this means is work with an AI to add necessary env variables. Your env variables are the things that connect your database. The AI will guide you on how to make a database as long as you ask it. And the env variables also have your APIs. So let's say you're building a let's just say you're building the social media app that I built. Okay, you would go to the developer dashboard of those apps, right? TikTok developer, Meta devs, LinkedIn devs, all this stuff, Google dev. You go to those dashboards and you would get API keys, and you would label the API keys. You'd make an equal variable and then put the value into the env variable. Okay, now what this does is it acts as like kind of like the password key of making sure your app works with the necessary softwares that you don't actually control. Okay, and I kid you not, AI will do all of it for you. But very important that you understand this. Never give AI access to your env variables, because that is a huge security risk. If you add billing to your env variables, like your API clients, and someone gets access to that, they could just bomb it, or they could steal a ton of your information. So please be careful. Don't give AI your env variables. Like we said, just ask AI to get the errors and issues squared away. This is where you use localhost. That's the npm run dev we showed you earlier. Yeah, work with the AI to get the app functioning. Yeah, same thing. You use localhost. You'll figure out what the errors are. You'll fix it, and then depending on how your app looks, if you don't like something or you need something added, you'll ask the AI to fix it, or you'll ask the AI to add it. And then if you want something to make sure that it's working, you'll ask the AI to troubleshoot and figure out why it's not working and how to get it to work. This is another important thing. If you're nearing the end of like, hey, my app is pretty much done, make sure you add an analytics import, and you can just ask your AI again to do this for you. But go to Google Analytics, get a snippet, get an import, and what you'll do is you'll put this import on every page, and every single time someone goes onto your app, you will get a user notification, right? You'll be able to track the analytics and see how many people are using your apps, seeing what they're clicking on, and making sure that you can see your conversion rates, because this will be super helpful when you start running paid advertisements. Okay, congratulations, you just moved on to the next part. And notice how this says 4 hours to months, because you're going to be in this like fixing your app phase for a good amount of time, unless you have a very easy app. And this is the easiest part. Once you figure out that your app is working, you're going to make the production server. You are going to use Vercel CLI. Ask your AI agent to help you push this to Vercel and set it up. What's going to happen is Vercel hosts your code online for free on a domain, and people can access it. Now, it has a really bad name. Like if we go to my Vercel, like no one's clicking on sociallink.vercel.app, okay? But as long as it gets your app up there and you can see that it's in a production environment, that's very important. You'll add domain DNS, so that's like my app falls under www.sociallink.io. That's my domain. Get that set up, and then user test. So either make a new account to try out your app on the production environment, or get a friend to try it, because sometimes you have developer access regarding your account and it gives you special permissions unlike other users. So sometimes it's better to have your friends test it for you. And once you get all that shit squared away, I mean, every single time you find an error on Vercel on your production environment, you just have to change the code, deliver the logs to your AI agent, and then Vercel --prod to push it to the production environment. And then it changes the code, and then you're set. And then guess what? Market and launch. It's that easy. Now, there's a lot of like nuances in between each one of these, but I kid you not, if you take this video, the TTS or the transcript of this video, and you plug it into an AI and tell it, hey, what is this guy talking about? How can I build an app like the way this guy's talking about? I promise you it will make so much sense. This is going to be the easiest thing you'll ever do in your entire life. The world is your oyster, okay? Yeah, and thank you for coming along this journey with me while I teach you how to make an app And this is the first episode of Building in Public. So let's get to it.